Here I am on the assault bike again, and I seem to do the most thinking, and where I hate things. There's be in such a situation, and you're like, wow, I could really think this way through. Like, thanks for training, you know, are the schools that you go to that just really suck. You're just thinking, like, we talk about being resilient all the time and overcoming adversity and all that kind of stuff. And I trained with a girl today who's a senior last year playing volleyball, doesn't have any aspirations of playing after high school, but um, last year was on JV. So, that's a little bit of adversity right there. A little bit, not supposed to be on JV as a junior. And, I guess she got wind that she may not make the team, uh, which could have gone one or two ways. Could have broke her. She could have given them and said, forget it. Or she could have worked hard. Or third, she could have just went with the flow and whatever happened, You know what I mean? But she chose the second to go work, and she's been coming, and she's getting better now. She's given a lot of props up to like the training and stuff like that. But it has a little bit to do with the training, but nothing to what she has to do. She's talking about she kept hiring, You haven't even, you really want to see maybe 6 months to really see like the increase in your physical training and stuff like that. But I appreciate her giving me that heads up, But she came to work. She can put in work, lifting 2, 3 times a week, cardio sessions, rehabbing her hip. Uh, you know, I know what hips are like, but she's putting in the time, done it. And then tryouts came out. She worried she wasn't gonna make the team still. The way I train too is I don't want to train physically, I train mentally. So I teach you to try to block these things out, how to push through it, um, embrace the stuff that they usually like to say, but I hate using that term because it's so widely used. You know, um, she went to trial day one, said she did okay. Day two came around, she's like, I killed it. I had a bunch of spikes, blah, blah, blah. I was like, great. Were you hyping the team up? Were you hustling? Because no matter what, I coached for 20 years. If there was somebody that hustled, I got to stop them. And she's like, yeah, I hustled and all that kind of stuff. And kids nowadays say they hustle and stuff like that. I could be like a little airborne shuffle where you just like pretend like you're doing really fast and you're just putting up a show. You're not really going over there, but you know, um, final day of trials came around. She's still on the fence, kind of a nervous wreck. Um, finally comes to find out she made the team. Not only did she make the team, she was a starter. And then, everything's good. I told her, you guys continue to work, keep it going, keep the progress going. You don't want to just be good. You want to be great, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Just hyping her up. Do what we need to do. And she's about it. She ain't like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go. Like giving like all the head nods and like, yeah, let's do it. She actually doing it. Like she's on me, like, hey, what's next? What's this? I don't want to do that. That's not good. So first center comes around. She does good. She says she killed it in the first game. She said she's going to be all league. She didn't say that. But she said she had a couple of blocks, a couple of kills, and then all of a sudden it took for a turn. A lot of times we don't know what coaches are thinking, what their game plan is. If you have a strategic coach, sometimes they see things that we may not see, and we try to put players in the best position to succeed. So the next game, I guess she was taken out. She didn't play as much as she did the first game. She got down on herself again, felt like she was not an integral part of the team. Felt like the coach was um, I don't know if she felt anything. She just didn't know what the coach was thinking because she thought she was doing good. And she's hearing one thing, but she saw another thing and she didn't get to play. So I tried to calm her down, told her she guys think it through and all that kind of stuff. They requested a meeting. You know what I mean? The coach explained what happened. Made sense. And this girl was like on the verge of like quitting the team. So you can't do that. You got to keep going. But that's your choice. That's your choice. And she knows wants to be a cop later on. I'm like, you can't just quit, because when cops quit, they die, they get hurt, they get others hurt. Can't go in that mentality. We got to set it up to where you don't have that going into leading up into this, to where you're not setting that precedent. So they had the meeting. She immediately calls me and says, "Hey, let's meet." I'm like, all right. I think if she wants to change the plan from, like an SAQ athlete type of deal to more of a tactical type of thing, where you go over some of the entries and movements, or you're mimicking some of the motions that you would be as a cop. But she's like, no, I had a great meeting. She explained to me everything, blah, 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 whoop-de-woo. And then she's like, I'm still playing. She likes the way I am. She likes my leadership and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, great. All misunderstanding. So sometimes you just got to believe in the process and the coaching. And so she comes back after all that, had another tournament, and she kills it. And she even got to serve, and she got a couple of aces. So they ended up winning the championship in that tournament. She's all happy, all hunky-dory. But that just goes to show, one day is good, the next day is bad, and it's just adversity. You got to come over. And she would have gave up. She would have never got those aces. She would have never had that good game. She would have never won that championship. Who knows if that team would have won that championship? But just can't give up. Don't get down on yourself. I was telling one other kid I trained for basketball the other day, and she'll get the move down 1 out of every 5-6 times. And this is a new move that she never done before. It's just a setup move going into a crossover. And then, I'm trying to teach her to get outside of her frame to, mimic that she's going. I'm trying to tell the defender they're going one way to set them up so she can go the opposite way. Make it easier for her, Typical redirection. So she'll do the move once, then she'll mess up like 3 times in a row. Then the next time she'll get it once, then mess up twice, and she'll get it again. Then start again a couple times, and she'll mess up again. And she's still getting frustrated. So I had to tell her, I was like, look, you've never done this move before. It's a brand new move. Think about where you come from since you've been here. But also, this is the way life is. You're going to have times where you do one thing good, and you're going to mess up 10 times. Then you're going to get good at it, and you're going to get good 10 times, and you're going to mess up that one time. So the odds are going to shift, right? But when we get better, we push it, and we start making those mistakes over and over again, right? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn. Well, most of us. If you're afraid to push yourself and you're afraid to fail, you're never going to get anywhere. And that's the biggest fault that I see nowadays. And I even seen it when I was policing, with people talking about, I'm not going to go for the sergeant's test. They're shaded against me and all that kind of stuff. And I was told to my face that I'm nothing more than just a street cop. Nothing more. It's because I wasn't going to these kiss a baby with a cop, not being who I wasn't, and doing it all for selfish reasons to get promoted, just to show them like, oh yeah, I really like the community. Funny part is, I lived in the community. The community loved me. The gangsters loved me. And they understood. And I tag teamed with like E Foundation, went around, gave Turtle great people. Tion is a great freaking guy. Trains kids, teaches them financials, literacy, how to be a man, everything besides basketball. He don't care about basketball. He cares about getting them smart. And he went around with his own money, grabbed donors, and started handing out toys to these underprivileged kids. You know what I mean? These kids in these areas, man, some of them used to hearing gunshots, having to sleep on the floor, bathtubs, used to seeing drug deals every day. It's a different mentality. People don't know it. past this world spell. You know, and fortunately or unfortunately, I've lived a life to where I had to see it. You know what I mean? That people have done and it's unthinkable. You know, so we got to keep going. It's hard to say you're making a difference when you really don't see difference being made. But I know this rant's kind of gone on a little bit. It's like 10 minutes. Uh, I know I had 10 minutes worth of ideas or opinions on this, but it's something that we need to work on. All right. And just, if there's one thing that you can work on, it's your mental fortitude, your resilience, being there for others. All right. Really trying to figure out and learn who you are. All right. Roll, roll.